by paired fins, scales, and gills. So we talked about the gills. We talked about the paired fins. We're going to take a little diversion away from that definition. We're going to talk about body plan and coloration on fish. And then when we talk about the two different kinds of fish, we'll talk about their scales, okay, because they actually have different kinds of scales. So we're going to talk about body plans and coloration today for fish. So fish, fish are awesome, clearly, but if you just look at a fish, and you don't know anything about the fish or where it lives, the shape of the body can actually tell you a lot about the lifestyle of the fish. Okay, so where it lives, whether like if it's on the bottom or at the surface, whether it has to be a fast swimmer or not. Okay, it can tell. Just looking at the shape of the fish can tell you a lot about its lifestyle. There's several different shapes of fish. The three that you're going to be responsible for are these three that are up on the board right now. Okay, basically, in general, you have like fish that live at the surface of the water, so like up in the very, very well-lit waters. They're going to have a very skinny, like torpedo-shaped body. Okay, very skinny, very streamlined. Think of like an anchovy, right? Long and skinny. They need that shape because they have to be able to swim quickly to get away from predators. So a lot of like bait fish, like herring and anchovies and sardines, are going to be this like torpedo shape in order to be able to get away from predators easily because they need to swim fast. Okay. So if you see a fish, you don't know anything about it, and it's torpedo shaped, it probably lives in the surface water and needs to swim fast to get away from predators. Okay. Midwater fish, so down deeper in the ocean, they're going to be more football shaped. So everybody knows what a football looks like, right? So not European football, American football, okay? So like an actual football. Those fish are going to be in midwaters, okay, down deeper in the ocean. And that body shape, that football kind of shape, is good for swimming really fast over long distances. Okay, so it's really, really good for that. So if you find a fish and it's got that shape, it'll probably be swimming a lot. Benthic fish that live on the bottom, are dorsal ventrally flattened. So if you know where the dorsal and the ventral side is, which way do you think it's flattened? Exactly, like this. Okay, so the dorsal and the ventral side, it's flattened this way. Okay, so they're flattened so that when they live on the bottom, it helps them to blend in to the bottom. Okay, so they're flattened dorsal ventrally. I have some really good drawings for you. Those are my drawings of the fish shapes. Okay, so this is the surface waters, the torpedo shaped. I would probably draw something like this in your notes next to these because you will be asked to draw these again. Hint, hint. Maybe on a test coming up sometime. Okay, so surface waters, long or skinny and torpedo shaped. The midwaters, much more football shaped. Okay, and then the benthic. This is my attempt to draw like a ray or something. Flattened. Okay, dorsal ventrally flattened. Super good, I know. Rays are happy, that's why they have a smiley face. Although their mouth is on the underside. Their mouths are on the underside because they're benthic and they're bottom feeders. So they have to have their mouth down there to be able to get the prey off the bottom. Sick. All right. Can I switch this now? Got it? Yeah? Okay. All right, so here's some pictures of actual fish to help you see this in real life. So here you've got like a barracuda, okay, and an anchovy so that you can see like the long, skinny torpedo shape. Here's the football-shaped fish. So like this would be like a yellowfin tuna, okay, and then here's another football-shaped fish, okay, and then the benthic fish, dorsal ventrally flattened down here. Yeah? Okay, so that's what they look like. Okay, as you do your reading and take your notes, which are due for you guys on Wednesday, as you do your reading, you're going to hear and probably read about some other shapes of fish. And so here's some of the other shapes that fish can be, and terms that you'll hear. There's a shape of fish called fusiform. Okay, a fusiform fish is a fish that is like teardrop shaped. So if you look at it from the side, it's got this like teardrop shape. If you look at it from the front, it's round. So it's got like this nice teardrop shaped fish. That's really good for swimming fast and, again, long distances. And I'll show you a picture of swordfish, which has that fusiform shape. Attenuated is the long, skinny, like eel-like bodies. Okay, so eels would be attenuated body shapes. You've got depressed, which is the flattened dorsal ventrally, and then you've also got compressed, which is flattened side to side. Okay, so you've got a couple different kinds. He's fine. It happens all the time. Okay, he's fine. So like reef fish would be flattened side to side, like dory is flattened side to side. Okay. Okay, so the fusiform body shape, okay, this is a marlin, and swordfish have the same shape, okay, but you can see like kind of the teardrop shape. If you look at them from the front, they're round. It's very, very good. It's a good shape for very active swimmers. Yeah, that thing's fast. Okay, here's the sailfish. The sailfish also has the fusiform body shape. The sailfish is the fastest fish in the ocean. Okay, yeah, it is so pretty. It can actually change colors.
How fast?
68 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't
68 miles an hour. So do you know how fast a cheetah goes?
60 miles.
60, yeah. Sometimes 70, depending. So, but cheetahs are moving through air, right? Which is much less viscous and produces much less drag than water does. So sailfish are actually swimming in a fluid, which is much more viscous, creates a lot more drag, so it takes a lot more muscle and energy, and they can still reach speeds of 68 miles an hour, which is crazy. That's cool. So sailfish. They're called sailfish because they've got that big giant dorsal fin. Okay? Okay. Here's your laterally compressed or compressed body shape. So these are the types of fish that are going to be really good at swimming around obstacles. So like living on a coral reef, you've got to maneuver through all sorts of like coral and stuff like that. So this body shape is really good for that. Also like kelp forests and stuff like that, this would be good for that as well. So dory is our laterally compressed example animal. She's a blue tang, so laterally compressed. So that's what they look like. And here's another picture, butterfly fish. So another term that you'll hear is demersal. Demersal just simply means like bottom, like it dwells on the bottom. So demersal fish are going to be dorsal ventrally flattened, like our little skate right here. Okay, so you can see that. Flounder, halibut, like all the flat fish that are delicious to eat, they are actually laterally compressed. So you would think that flatfish like flounder and halibut and stuff are, because they're benthic, that they're dorsal ventrally flattened, right? But they're actually compressed. So they're actually flattened from side to side, and then they lay on their side, and they have both of their eyes on one side of their head, and those eyes like look up into the water. Okay, it's strange. So if you were to take like a flounder and look at it like from the side to see its face, that's what it looks like. Okay, so you can see like this is the mouth. Okay, and so this eye should technically be like over here on the other side, and it should be swimming like this way, right? But it's not. It lays on the side. Actually, as these fish, when they're born, they have one eye on either side. Okay, and then imagine like hitting puberty, and then your eye switches to the other side of your head. That's what happens to these fish. Yes. So they're born. Okay. Yeah, it switches. So no, the eye migrates. Yeah, the eye migrates. So it's in its little larval form. Okay, and once it reaches like a teenager, okay, that eye moves over to the other side of its head. Yeah. No, just the eye. So just the eye will move. So you know in Finding Nemo where the kids like scare the fish and they like hide on one side and he's like, "Where'd you go? Where'd you go?" Right? That's like a flounder, like a flatfish. He's doing that because both his eyes are on the other side, so when they hide on that one side, he can't see them. Yeah, it's funny. So funny. Okay. But they're cool. Flatfish are cool. So, and there's their body shape. Okay, the elongated body shape is really, really good for hiding like among rocks and crevices, right, and coral reefs and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the elongated body shape. So good for hiding in reefs. It is beautiful. Okay, that body shape is also good for hiding among vegetation. So these type of fish will actually kind of like live their life with their head hanging down and trying to like blend into the grass. So they'll like sway with the current and like try and blend into the grass. Not you. Cornet fish is another type that's really long, attenuated, okay, long and skinny. And like pipefish and trumpet fish. Okay, so lots of different kinds. You also have a body shape that's called globular, a globular body shape. That's, yeah, because it's basically like a glob. And that's really good for sedentary lifestyles, meaning not moving very much. Yeah, anglerfish have like a globular body shape. Bless you. That's not a very good depiction of one. It's not going to be that long. Some of them maybe, but not all of them. Yeah. Okay, and then you've also got things like your weedy and leafy sea dragons that have lots of extensions off of their body and have kind of a unique body shape that allow for them to blend into their environment.